Engineer is one of the most popular classes in TF2, and out of his many available weapons, two stand out in stark contrast to each other: the Frontier Justice and the Rescue Ranger. They are polar opposites. One focuses on the capitalization of aggressive play, and the other prioritizes a slower, more defensive playstyle. The question then arises, which is the better weapon? The Rescue Ranger or the Frontier Justice? In this video, I will show you my experience and the data that I have collected from all of the official game modes except CTF to help answer this question. An important thing to note for this analysis is that I will be using total kills for each round. You might be thinking that it would be better to just count kills with either of the two weapons in question. I am using total kills because only counting primary kills would ignore the fact that, especially on Engineer, weapon synergy with each other is incredibly important. The stats for the Frontier Justice are pretty straightforward. For every kill your sentry gun gets, it stores 2 crits and 1 crit for an assist. Once a sentry gun is destroyed, those crits are given to the Frontier Justice. So put simply, every sentry gun kill gives you 2 guaranteed crits. However, this upside comes with a large downside. The Frontier Justice only has half the ammo capacity of stock. This means that instead of having 6 shots available on the stock shotgun, which can kill a fully overhealed heavy, the Frontier Justice only having 3 means that you can't even kill a full health heavy without reloading. The Rescue Ranger's stats are a little more complex. Instead of firing hit scan pellets, it fires a single slow-moving projectile bolt that on hit to a friendly building will heal it at a 4:1 health to metal ratio, which is actually better than the wrench's 3:1 ratio. It has an alt fire that for 100 metal will teleport your building to you. It only has 4 shots instead of the normal 6, and only half of the reserve ammo of the other shotguns. It only deals 60% of the maximum damage that the shotgun can, which means shot for shot it does less damage than the Frontier Justice. So comparing their stats, the Frontier Justice stores sentry kills as crits, 1 for an assist and 2 for a kill. It has 50% less ammo capacity. The Rescue Ranger heals buildings from a distance at a 4:1 ratio, has an alt fire to teleport buildings, it costs 100 metal, 60% less damage, 50% less reserve ammo. So my opinion on the Frontier Justice is that the reduction of ammo capacity causes the Frontier Justice without crits to just be a worse shotgun, and that's why most engineers will use stock until they notice their sentry has a few kills stored up, and then they will switch loadouts, destroy their sentry themselves, and then go on a rampage. New engineers when doing this usually wait too long to take down their sentry, meaning that those 32 guaranteed crits that they stored up get wasted because of their inability to stay alive long enough to use all of them. That's why it's also common practice for engineers to only store 4 to 8 crits before going in. With destroying your sentry being a necessity, and its 15 added health, it's no wonder that the Gunslinger is the best and most common melee to be used with the Frontier Justice. Its reduced sentry cost and the increased build speed of mini sentries allow engineers to get a sentry gun kill, capitalize on it, and then have a new sentry up to repeat the process. Like in this clip. My sentry already has a kill on it, so when it starts to take damage, I take it down, chase down this engineer, mess up my shots, but I'm able to clean up with a pistol and cap the point. And with the ammo from the cart, get another sentry up to repeat the process. Other than the Gunslinger, all the other wrenches are okay with the Frontier Justice. My list is the Jag for the faster build speed, Stock, the Southern Hospitality, and the Eureka effect because of its decreased boost to building speed. While the Rescue Ranger can be used for supporting an aggressively positioned sentry, it is much more commonly used in defensive situations. Its ability to heal from a distance allows the engineer to spread out from the traditional nest. This means that an engineer with the Rescue Ranger can more effectively position his buildings to support his team. It's also important to remember that the Rescue Ranger cannot remove sappers, so the engineer's ability to spread out his nest isn't unlimited. Landing shots with the Rescue Ranger is pretty difficult, especially because of its slow speed, but once you get the hang of it, it's incredibly satisfying to do, mostly because of its fantastic hit sound. The wrenches that work well with the Rescue Ranger are the Jag and the Eureka effect because of its teleport, as well as Stock and the Southern Hospitality. On payload offense, the Frontier Justice paired with the Gunslinger shines. The ammo from the cart allows you to almost always have a mini sentry up, and you'll always be able to cash in on a few crits that it builds up. On defense, the story is a little different. Because maintaining a leveled up sentry is much more of a priority, your ability to capitalize on sentry kills is more limited. Choosing to destroy your sentry early means it will be down for quite some time, and you have to weigh your options. Is it possible to engineer a crit rampage worth leaving your team open to a push? The Rescue Ranger does very well on payload defense. It allows you to keep up a nest for a lot longer and be much more of a challenge for the enemy team. Its teleport also comes in handy when your gun is low and blue is moving forward, compromising its position. It allows you to instantly move your level 3 from one choke point to another, meaning that the downtime normally found when relocating buildings is almost completely removed. On offense, it's not nearly as useful. Teleporting buildings to keep up with the cart and tanking a counter push are its main jobs. For King of the Hill with the Frontier Justice, the common trend in King of the Hill games of trading the main point between teams means that you will have opportunities to capitalize on the destruction of your sentry. Once your sentry is down, the enemy team now has to deal with a crit boosted engineer, meaning that you can be the difference in whether a team push is successful or not. The Koth game mode allows for the traditional Engi nest, which can be expanded on with the Rescue Ranger. Being able to have your sentry closer to their point while still being able to safely heal it means you are much more effective, and taking damage to your sentry is much less of a problem. Control points for the Frontier Justice is a lot like payload, except that you will be defending and attacking, meaning that weighing your options between keeping your sentry up or getting crits is much more of a concern. Much like in King of the Hill, the Ranger on control point maps allows the engineer to put his buildings in much more aggressive locations, and still support them or teleport them if the enemy team gets too close, meaning that unlike payload, the engineer can almost instantly relocate his sentry to the next point. On attack defend, the Frontier Justice is basically the same as payload, except there's not infinite metal from the cart, which means an offensive engineer must be a lot more careful with how they spend their metal, and mini sentry spam is a lot harder. The Ranger on attack defend is the same story as payload, good for defense, not as effective on offense. I didn't play CTF because I really hate that game mode, and I think there are multiple fundamental flaws to it in TF2. So the kill counts are as follows. On payload, the Frontier Justice had a 13 kill average. The Ranger had a 21 kill average. On King of the Hill, the Frontier Justice had a 13 kill average, the Ranger 12. On control points, the Frontier Justice had 15 kill average, the Ranger had 13. On attack defend, the Frontier Justice had a 13 kill average, for Ranger it was 14. So the total averages are 13 for the Frontier Justice and 15 for the Rescue Ranger. I had expected a slight advantage to the Rescue Ranger because it's most effective on defense, and generally defensive engineer performs better than offensive. So if anything, the fact that the Frontier Justice was able to keep up with the Rescue Ranger is incredible. Both are viable playstyles, but from my data and in my opinion, the Rescue Ranger makes a lot more of a difference for engineer than the Frontier Justice can. The fact that your sentry has to go down to get the crits means that it will never be great on defense. This is fine because otherwise, it would be incredibly overpowered. Which reminds me of a certain spy revolver. Anyway, this video was a request from James the Bulbin. Thank you for following the channel. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you really liked it, please subscribe. And if you have anything to say or any suggestions for future videos, leave it in the comments. Thank you, goodbye.